What's up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. My counterpart is missing again today, and this is really tall. I think I shrunk. So Brandon has lost his voice, so him trying to be on here today just didn't make a lot of sense. So I'm gonna expect you guys to be more interactive because it's really lonely without him. So hi Amanda, hi Haley. All right, guys, so I want to talk about something today. It's ironic that it's episode 44. That's my birthday, and I love the number 7. So, yeah, hi, Nate. So what I want to talk about today, you guys, is why you need to stop being fine, right? And this is something that I was so passionate about 12, 15 years ago. And I'm going to talk about that, but it got brought back up today when I was on a coaching call with one of my mentors. And he said that he was like, people, you know, they're fine, they're good, they're all of this. And it's like, what does that really mean? So backstory to why I despise the word fine. Like, I say the 4-letter F word a lot, not the word fine. The other one that rhymes with uck, right? I say that word all the time. If you know me, I'm pretty passionate about things that I say that word a lot. But so many of you know, many of you don't, and I'm not just talking about this because Brandon's not here today, but I was married when I was really young. I got married when I was 22, I think barely 22. I was married for 7 years, I think. And one of the things by the end of my marriage, and we're still friends, we're great, we weren't soulmates, we weren't meant to be together. But one of the things that he would always say was, I'm fine, you look fine, everything is fine, right? And so when you're about to go through a divorce and you're like, things are not fine, everything is not fine, I want to look better than just fine, right? Like, there's so many things where I just hated that word. Like, literally, if anybody said the word fine, I'm like, no, you're not fine, right? And so that word used to trigger me so badly because it was very much related to that. And I was like, have an emotion, right? Be something, be good, be bad, be amazing, be exceptional, be awful, be terrible, like, just be something other than fine, right? Like, why are we walking this middle? And so as I've grown and learned a lot more over the last few years, there's 2 things I want to talk about. So the first one is, I want for you guys more than you just to have a life that's fine, right? Like, when you look back, do you want to be like, well, my life was fine, my love life was fine, my kids are fine? Like, how do you say the word fine without going, fine, right? Like, what are you doing in your life? Because if all you're doing and you're feeling fine, then you're missing something, right? Like, how do you actually want to be in this life, right? We talked about energy, we talked about energetics. Like, what do you want to be? You want to be great, you want to be exceptional, you want to be amazing, you want to be, like, what do you want to be? Because you probably don't get up every morning and be like, how about have a fine day today, right? And if you do, then this is my invitation to you. You've got to figure out why you're okay with just being fine, and what do we need to do from there, right? But here's the thing that I think most of us don't understand. So here's the level deeper. And this is what I know to be true, is that back in the day, that word used to trigger me because I was like, just be honest, you're feeling something else. But now, after the last 15 years of working with clients, what I know to be true is often we don't know how we're feeling, right? Most of us have been taught to stay in the zone of being fine. We don't know how we feel. We're afraid to feel badly. We're actually really afraid to feel good, right? And so we're like, I don't know how I'm feeling, right? And so this is the thing. Most of us don't know how to feel, right? And so when I say, how are you? Maybe you say fine. Maybe you say good. Unfortunately, good is just as bad. Like, what does good mean to you, right? And so what I want to ask you guys is, if you say this word often, like, it's probably just your go-to, and that's okay, right? Awareness, observation, that's what we always talk about. But what you need to understand is that, like, what is that cueing in your subconscious, and what kind of state is that putting you in, right? Because if you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm whatever, it's like, well, how do you want to be? Do you want to be better than good? Do you want to be better than fine? Do you want to be amazing? And the other side of that, right? Hey, and like, the other side of that, though, is the harder side, right? Like, when we're not good, and somebody says, you know, how are you? Like, wouldn't it be nice to be like, I'm actually kind of sad today. I'm actually kind of depressed today. I'm actually kind of stressed out today. I'm actually kind of any of those things, right? Because here's the thing. We're all afraid of those lower vibrating energies because we think we're going to get stuck there, right? We talked about this yesterday. Like, we think we're going to get stuck in the sadness, in the anger, in the frustration, in the fear, in the doubt, in the blame, and all of those things, right? But you're not going to get stuck in those. But here's the thing. If you don't acknowledge those, and you don't see them, and you don't look at them, and you don't understand what to do with them, you're never going to get to exceptional, extraordinary, amazing, incredible, right? You're just not. Because your body, your energetics, we talked about this yesterday, but it's such a big thing. Your energetics, you get stuck in those emotions, right? So So I want you guys to think about this. Like, are you living a life that's fine, right? Like most of the people that I know from the outside looking in, like we have great families and good jobs and you know, and we like everything looks fine. But like, are you not fulfilled? Do you not have a purpose? Is there more in your life that you want that you're not going after, right? And if you aren't, why aren't you, right? Like, what do you actually want in this life? Do you want abundance? And abundance can mean money. It can be love. It can be all of those things. Like, do you want to have more impact? What's your purpose? Who do you want to change in this world? And I promise you guys, if you're living a life that's just fine and you're not actually asking yourself a couple different questions of like, how do I actually want to feel? What does that actually mean to me? People don't know how to respond, right? Yeah, people don't know. That's so good. I'll talk about that in a second, right? So like, what do you want to do, right? And so I'm going to answer that. So she said that people don't know how to respond when you're honest about your feelings. And that is 1,000,000% true, because they don't know what to do with it, right? Because they don't know what to do with their own feelings. They're like, oh my gosh, you're not okay. What do I do, right? Here's the thing. If somebody responds to you and they say, I'm not okay, I'm sad, I'm angry, whatever, say, I see you, I hear you, I've got you. If you just need to take 5 minutes and just spew, I'll hold space for you. Right? It's amazing. And in my collective that I'm in with Smith Skelly, we do these things called feelers. And they're literally 5-minute phone calls. And you reach out and you say, hey, who needs a feeler? Right? Because we all have stuff we have to process. We take 5 minutes. You get on the call with another coach. They literally just listen while you talk. Because most of the time we just need to process. They listen while you talk. At the end of 5 minutes, there's literally a timer. We say like, okay, are you good? Do you need an out question, right? And the out question could be like, you know, what was your cat's name when you were a kid, right? And so the out question just gets you out of that emotional state and lets you move on, right? But like, you can do this for strangers. You can say like, hey, you know what? I can just listen, right? Thank you, sweetie. Like, you don't have to solve their problem. And that's the problem, is like, we think we need to solve each other's problems. We don't. We just need to be there, hold space for somebody, right? Like, if you know what that means, just listen to them and be there, because that's all a lot of us need, right? And so like, we do this with our clients, right? I'm like, if you need a feeler, if you need 5 minutes just for me to hold space, let's do it, right? And so that's the thing, if somebody shares their emotions, right? But the other part is that like, when you're in a space with people that you love and trust, like, you need to get to the point where they can ask you questions about what's going on. Like, well, why are you just good? What's going on here, right? You need to find people in your life that are going to raise you to that next level. Like, well, what does fine mean? Like, literally in my life, when everyone was like, oh, I'm fine, I'm like, cool, what's wrong? What's going on? What do you need? What's like, right? And so it's like those deeper questions. So you need to find that group of people that you feel safe, that you can lean into, that you can be honest with, that you can learn how to process, right? And like we said, so many people don't know how to, we don't know how to feel, right? I didn't know how to feel. I thought I did, and I didn't. And so the deeper you go into self-care and self-discovery, everything in your life will change, right? Like, we were talking about our shift program, and we have a beta launching early July. So if you guys are interested in that, if you're tired of being fine, we can chat, right? But the biggest thing is that, like, we want to understand of where, like, when you put time and energy into taking care of yourself, right? When you actually go, okay, what do I need? Why do I do the things I do? What's going on with me? Like, when you actually spend time on self-care, self-understanding, energetics, all of that kind of stuff, all of a sudden you're a better human to everyone else in your life. And then everything starts to elevate, right? You start to become this beacon of light for people, where you're like, okay, I can shine my light on them. I can hold space for them. I can be that. And everything in your life gets better, right? And so, biggest thing, you guys, if you don't know, if you're at a place in your life where you're like, I'm tired of being fine, I'm tired of surviving, I'm tired of just getting by, I'm tired of just going with the flow, then you need to talk to us. You need to talk about our shift program, right? It's going to be a beta group. We're going to do 90 days. There's only 20 spots. It's going to be a very tight-knit group of people, where you're going to find your tribe. You're going to find the people that can ask questions. You're going to find the people that are going to hold space for you, ask you what you really want in life. How do you really want to feel? How do you want to show up? And what is that going to feel like and look like? Because I can guarantee you guys, if you do this program, your life will be 1,000% different at the end of 90 days, right? And the end of 6 months, and the end of a year, right? It's always a journey. But like, if you're tired of being fine and you're tired of living in that life where you're just showing up, you need to reach out to us. We're taking applications now. Like I said, we've only got 20 spots. It's not for everybody, but if you think it's for you, and that speaks to you, and you're tired of being in the hustle and you're tired of not being satisfied and you're tired of not being the best version of you and you don't know how to get to the next level, then reach out to me. We'll jump on a phone call. We'll see if it's a good fit for you. If it's not, I know tons of other coaches and tons of other things. So if it's not for you, like, there's no pressure. We just really want to find the people that are ready to take their life to the next level. Stop being stuck in the hustle. Stop being stuck in the diet cycle. Stop being stuck in all of those things and fear and all that stuff that life is pushing on us, and take you to that next level with a group of people that are ready to do the same. So we love you guys. Hopefully, thanks for all the hearts, sweetie. We need to talk. Brandon will hopefully be back tomorrow. I don't know if he's gonna get his voice back, but I jokingly, this is awful, you guys, I jokingly said, like, oh, you probably have corona. Like, it's just he and I. And then my daughter's like, oh no, daddy has it. I was like, oh gosh. So be careful of your words, especially around your children. I'm sure he doesn't have coronavirus. He's just coached a lot of classes. But anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Drop me a DM. Let's get on a phone call. Let's see what it looks like to shift your life in the next 90 days and really see what the best, most authentic, perfect version of you is. All right, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.